If you live in a mild winter climate like I do, your pepper plants may live year-round, but they may be looking a little worse for the wear after the occasional frost event and cool temperatures of winter. And in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do to help your peppers recover from the cool temperatures and have a beautiful and productive spring. I'm Angela from Growing in the Garden, and I garden in Mesa, Arizona, Zone 9B. I love sharing garden inspiration and helpful tips so you can be successful in your own garden. Although pepper plants can live year-round here where I live in the low desert, they often look a little worse for the wear after infrequent but still possible frost events or the extreme heat we have in the summer. So what's the best time to prune your peppers? So there are two times that I'll prune my peppers here in the low desert. The first time is in the spring after danger of frost is past. Once we know that we're out of the possibility of a frost event, you'll start to see new growth on your peppers, and that's a good sign that it's time to cut those peppers back. The other time that I like to prune my peppers is after a long hot summer. Pepper plants will survive that summer, but they're often looking a little haggard, pretty worn out. And so at that point, once those nighttime temperatures begin to cool off, you'll often see the same thing. You'll often see those pepper plants put out new growth, and that is a really good time to cut your peppers back. It may still be kind of hot during the day. I usually do this at the beginning of September or so, but cutting them back will reinvigorate those plants and help them put on a new flush of blooms for either the spring or the fall harvest. The first step when you're pruning anything is to sanitize and sharpen your pruners. This will help prevent the spread of diseases and any pests. Once your tools are all ready to go, the next step is to observe your plant. Take a good look at the plant. Your pepper plant may be in pretty good shape and may just need a light pruning all over. It may not need any pruning, or it could be that it has overgrown branches, it's got some dead branches, it's really looking pretty rough. If it's looking pretty good, you can lightly prune all over, cutting back to just above a node. So what is a node? A node is the growing point for those peppers. Take a minute to see what your plant is telling you. Plants will communicate to us by the way they look. So if it has spindly growth or old, damaged growth, then it's telling you that it needs to be pruned. If it looks pretty healthy, then it may just need a light pruning. When you're pruning your peppers, focus on removing any dead or damaged growth. This will help encourage the plant to put more energy into producing fruit rather than putting effort into maintaining unhealthy foliage. So if you're looking at your plant and more severe pruning is necessary, then cut the branches to just above where you see new growth beginning, just above a node. Usually you can count up from the bottom of the plant and cut just above the third or fourth node. If the plant really needs a severe pruning and you're worried about that plant dying off if you cut it back all the way, what you can do is cut back half of the plant, leaving half of those leaves on the other side of the plant. And then when you see new growth forming and there's some leaves on that other side that you cut back, then go ahead and cut back that other side, and that will help the plant recover more quickly. So after you prune, once you see that new growth forming, it's important to fertilize the pepper plant with a balanced organic fertilizer and then water well. Within a couple of days of pruning, you should start to see a burst of growth with an abundance of leaves, followed by blossoms, and then peppers. By maintaining this pruning schedule, it allows my pepper plants to stay a manageable size, and I get a large harvest of peppers in the spring and again in late fall. If conditions are right, pepper plants can live indefinitely, but their best production will happen during the first 3 years of life. If once your pepper plant is past 3 years old, you start to see that the number of peppers is decreasing or the quality is decreasing, you may want to consider replacing that. If it's a pepper that you really enjoy, go ahead and save some seeds from that pepper and start a new seedling indoors, and then plant that in a different area of your garden. So what about pruning pepper seedlings? It seems to be a hot topic. Some people are very adamant that you should, others are very adamant that you shouldn't. I usually prune my pepper seedlings. I found that this helps with lower branching. It helps keep my plants a more manageable size. It keeps them having more of a bush habit with stronger arms. Usually when the plant is 6 to 8 inches tall and it has several sets of leaves, at that point, that is when I will cut back my pepper seedling. So I cut that main stem to just above a node, and then that encourages stronger branching. In gardening, there's often not a right or wrong answer to whether or not you should do certain things, because each of our climates and gardens and experiences are so different. It often really depends on your own particular circumstances. Experiment in your garden by cutting back some, maybe not cutting back others, and then step back and watch the results, and then decide if that's something you want to do. I feel like the plants that benefit the most from cutting back at a young seedling stage are larger types of peppers like bell peppers. Here in the low desert, peppers are definitely one of the easiest plants to grow, and I've found that giving them a pruning twice a year keeps them producing even more. I hope this video has been helpful. If you have more questions, leave them in the comments. Thank you so much for watching.